think we'll be on the same side as this one. Texas is getting 2.5 points. This has gone from 3.5 to 2.5 to 1.5 back to 2.5. The over under here is 47.5. What is your prediction on this game?
Longhorn, baby. Let's not beat. Listen, Texas goes. Arch Manning takes Texas to the horseshoe, and they win a hard-fought game. Now, what this game is going to come down to is who can control the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, offense, defense. You know, it's star players everywhere, but whoever can control the line of scrimmage consistently, because as good as Jeremiah Smith is, Arch Manning, all these weapons on both sides of the ball, Carnell Tate, doesn't matter if the quarterback's on his back. He can't help you in any shape, form, or fashion. So it'll be interesting to see how Texas young secondary comes out, and and how they deploy guys to cover Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Brandon Enos. Just in the tight end, like Ohio State has a lot of weapons, but you can't let number 4 beat you. Someone else has to beat you. Like you have to take him away to me. Like that's what good teams do. You say, well, if this guy beats me, I can live with it. But the best player in the country, he can't beat me. And if Texas is able to generate pressure with Colin Simmons, like this team has a chance to go into Columbus and get a big time victory. Again, I'm taking the under. You have 2 young quarterbacks. As talented as Arch is, he's still a young quarterback in terms of playing in these hostile environments. I got Texas winning 24-21.
So I have a question for you about, do you think the game plan is going to be the exact same from the Cotton Bowl with the bracketing and stuff like that? And I guess they played more Tampa 2 in that game as well. Or do you think they're going to switch it up a little bit because, Ohio State probably had 6 months to look at that game film and decide the changes they would make towards it?
So I think early on you'll see some changes just to throw off the coordinator, because you got to think Ohio State has 2 new coordinators, right? So you have a new coordinator and a new quarterback, and the quarterback hasn't played with those guys live yet. So I think Texas will throw out some different looks early, and then as the game goes on, I think the game plan will revert back to kind of what you saw in the Cotton Bowl. But I think we will have the chance to be more successful with it due to Ohio State. Like, again, they have studs again this year, but they're not Travion Henderson yet. They're not Junkins yet. So the threat of run and explosives still might be there, but you will know in like the second half once those adjustments are made and things like that in terms of like what they're capable of doing. So I do think Texas will bracket him. I think you have to. Like, let's just put that out there. Like, you leave him 1-on-1, like, you are playing with fire. Like, that's a big, physical, fast, talented guy. Me personally, if I'm calling this defense, we hit him every play. Like someone has to touch him every play. Like, make him uncomfortable the entire game. So I do think Texas will deploy different people, different body types, different coverages to just to keep him off balance and force their other guys on the backside to win their one-on-one matchups and be able to cover Tate and Enos. So I don't think too much of last year will go into play because the personnel has changed. But I do think at some point we will start seeing those same looks.
I also think they're going to force feed on the ball early on just because, 1 touch for 3 yards. I highly doubt that's going to happen again. And I also think I agree. I don't think they have Quinshawn Junkins and Travion Henderson. So they're going to, use the short passing game to, supplement their running game. So I could see more screens to them, more ends arounds, stuff like that. And I think it's going to be interesting if Texas is going to show a lot of stuff pre-snap, then shift as soon as the ball snapped too. I think that's a way to confuse them because I think you're going to be able to generate turnovers if you confuse the picture for Julian Sand just because it's his first start. I think he's super talented. I mean, I watched the spring game. His release is insanely quick. And that's the thing too. If they're going to try to get the ball out early, I'm interested to see if Texas defensive linemen throw their hands up and try to tip balls at the line of scrimmage. I think that's something that hopefully is being taught And then also in the game, once they're recognizing it, that they do it, because I think that's probably what's going to happen. I bet they get rid of the ball pretty quickly for him early in the football game. But I think that's where this game comes down to, just like Clemson LSU. I think Texas is going to be able to run the ball more effectively than Ohio State. You don't have to run the ball 5-6 yards a clip. If you can do what they did versus Alabama on the road a couple years ago, which was like 3.5
Yeah.
yards per
Yep.
carry, that's just good enough, because then you can set up play action. As long as you're, stuck to the game plan and you run it. I think they ran it like 27, 28 times in that game, but they were only averaging like 3.3, 3.4 yards per carry. That's good enough in this type of game if you play ball control offense. So that's where I think this game goes. I think it's a super low scoring game between two top 10 defenses. And I do think Texas wins. I have Texas winning the football game 23-17.
Yeah. It's to your point, the run game, but what we talked about my very first episode, how we perform in the red zone is going to be pivotal, because I don't think we're going to have a problem moving the ball. That's never my concern. When we get inside the 20, we have to score touchdowns. If we don't score touchdowns, and at some point you're going to leave number 4 1-on-1, and if he gets any sort of a jump ball, like, I have a hard time betting against that guy. Like, he's just that talented, right? So it's going to be pivotal to get touchdowns when we get in position. Because to your point, I think we will be able to run the football effectively. We'll just stay in front of the chains, keep the game, kind of easy for Arch. We run the ball, play action, sprint out, got our RPOs, like, things just get them nice and comfortable. And as the game goes on, you open things up. But when we get in the red zone, we have to be able to capitalize, because if not, it'll be a repeat of all of our losses last year.
No, 100%. And I also think in this game, you're going to have, 3 to 5 opportunities to hit that explosive shot down the field, because the defenses will take chances because they trust their personnel and what quarterback can hit those shots. You're not going to go, let's say if you have 5 opportunities, you're not going to go 5 for 5. Can you go 2 for 5? Can you bat 40% on those? Because that's probably that team will probably end up winning the game if that's the case. So I think it's a super close game, just like the Cotton Bowl really came down to 2 plays. I think this probably comes down to 2 or 3 plays, just like that game.
Absolutely. And like, another thing, again, Ohio State lost both coordinators, but they returned everybody on defense. But they lost both coordinators. So how the game was called last year, in terms of, those coordinators, Texas can't really rely on that. So now it's like, it's a bunch of unscouted looks, maybe, or personnel's in different spots. Like, it's so many variables and factors, but ultimately I think it's going to come down to being able to protect the quarterback in pivotal situations. Because when you look at Texas losses last year, it was we struggled protecting the quarterback. And then
No, I agree.
Right, you know what I mean? So then can we run the football, and because if we can run the football, then that keeps that pass rush kind of back a little bit, gives us the more time and allow us to, then set up play action, take shots downfield. So I'm super excited for this one, but I definitely think we win a hard fought battle.
So Brandon and I agree on Texas